Welcome back to another video, and if you're new to my channel, my name is Danny, and I create videos on making Amazon KDP simple. I don't like to overcomplicate the process, and I just go with simple strategies that you can follow. And in this video, I'll be talking about how I made 50K in 3 months with Amazon KDP. Now, this might look like a clickbait title, but I'm going to walk you through all the steps. There are people actually earning way more than this out there and even earning this in a month. But I want to walk you through how I did it and what's possible with Amazon KDP. So before I get into it, let me show you the numbers. Now, this was across October, November, and December. So you can see the total number there, $49,773.54 over Q4 in 2024. Now, to give you a further breakdown of this, so in October, I made $9,209.79. I have got an income report video on my channel that you can go and check out, but you can see that here. My highest day was on the 4th of October, where I made roughly $588. Now, next on November, I made $14,563.08, which you can see here. And I had multiple days over $800, which is insane. And finally, the big one is December, where I made $26,257.92. And there I had multiple days over $1,000, even one day that was roughly $1,500, which is still insane to me and blows my mind that I'm able to make that in a day. Early on in my journey, it actually took me roughly around 6 months to make that amount. So to do that in a day just shows you that if you really stay and persevere in this business, what is possible. Now, these aren't impossible numbers to hit, but you have to be realistic. You're not going to hit these in your first year. I have been doing Amazon KDP for a while, but there are various strategies that have helped me hit these numbers. And the first thing I want you to start thinking about is having the mindset of building towards Q4. Now, for those who don't know what Q4 is, it just stands as the fourth quarter of the year, and these just includes the month of October, November, and December. So during these months, a lot of people like to buy gifts for the holidays. So it does make a great time for businesses to make a lot of money during this time. And in this quarter, you can make more in these 3 months than the other 9. And I know self-publishers who may just do 1 to 3K a month just from January to September. Then come October, November, December, their KDP earnings start to blow up. So they start doing 5, 10, 15, 20K each month. And there's even some self-publishers that might even do 100K and even more in December alone. So with that information, I really want you to start just being in that mindset of always building towards Q4. Now, how you can start doing that is just start from where you are and start planning ahead. We're already in March, so you need to start thinking about what do I need to start doing for Q4. And first, I would advise you to actually check out the books you've already made, which ones are actually quite popular and are selling the most for you, and then figure out what makes those books special and how can you actually improve those books. Can you start creating a better cover potentially for those books? Can you have a much more enticing description? Can you start running ads to those books? These are things to think about. And then also think about actually building a brand and dominating your niche. So one of the things that do really well on Amazon is complementary books. So think about creating a book that actually complements one of your best-selling books. So that's how you can start getting actually repeated buyers that will buy maybe more than one of your books. And you got to think about that most actually earnings come from a handful of your books. So don't think you're going to create 100 or 1,000 books and that they're all going to sell on Amazon. Usually it's just a small handful of those books that make you the the money on Amazon. So I'm going to show you an example on Amazon now. So this was actually one of the best selling books last Q4. And the idea is quite a simple idea. Dad, I want to hear your story. So ideally, a journal for fathers just to share their life and their story. Now, this is a book that's currently got a 182 BSR on the Amazon.com market. Now, during December, I actually got to book number two, which is crazy. So you can just imagine right now it's making $1,200 to $2,200 a day. So imagine it just being number two, how much it's making. And it's just mind blowing. But on top of that, the author's actually built a brand. So you can see a lot of his other books just here. They've got as well, Mom, I want to hear your story. They've got on top of that, Grandmother, I want to hear your story. They've got it in other languages as well. So they've really built a brand and they've got so many low BSRs. So just from this simple idea, you can see how he's been able to branch out and have so many other books around the family. So most buyers that would, come and see this brand, they wouldn't just buy one book. They might want to get one for their mum as well, maybe one for their grandmother. And that's how you can really start to build a brand and get repeated sales. So how can you start implementing some of these things in your own books? So first, focus on your own strength and learn to outsource your weaknesses. Now, most people like to try to do every single part of the business, and that's probably the quickest way to burn yourself out. But if you are able to focus on your strengths, so the areas that you actually enjoy in this business. So for me, I really enjoy the research process. I don't enjoy creating the covers and interiors so much now. So what I actually do is I get people to create the covers and the interiors for me. And that's just a way that saves me time and focus. That I'm able to focus on the parts that I'm really good at and ensure that there's quality throughout the process. One of the biggest things people do is they try to do every single part of the process, and there's an area that always lets them down just because they didn't spend as much time or they don't enjoy doing that part of the process as much. And this leads me on to the second part. Invest in your business. There are no shortcuts or secrets to success. So don't think I'm doing something hidden or something mysterious to get these results. No, invest in your business. If there's a part that you don't enjoy, maybe you can try to invest in tools that are going to help you with research, or really try to, instead of maybe spending the money that you earn, actually try to reinvest that back into ads. So you're always trying to improve and develop your business. Now, the work that you actually do today will pay off in Q4. So it can be quite difficult when maybe you're not seeing those results right away. But if you are able to be patient with this business, build the foundations right now, and also actually get around the right people that are achieving the results that you want to do. And they're also proving that they're actually showing you the results and how they did that in their business. They're not lying to you. Then those things are really going to help you actually take the steps, build the foundations, be around people that are supportive and are actually all pulling in that direction. And you'll actually be really surprised where you'll end up in Q4. And this is something that's been huge for me as well. I still have mentors and I still try to learn from people that are doing 3, 4, 5 times as me as well. And it just keeps me motivated and keeps me pushing, knowing that there is higher levels and higher places to go. Now, one of the huge areas in building towards Q4 is research. And you really need to focus on creating what is in demand. Don't create what you think is going to sell. Create what actually customers want and base that off data. And one of the biggest things that sell well during Q4 period is giftable books. Now it is gift giving season. So for examples, I've actually typed into ChatGPT. So you can see a lot of examples here, and we've got journals and planners. We've got adult coloring books. We've got children's books. We've got cookbooks. You can create DIY craft books. You can create coffee table books. You've got health and wellness books, self-help and inspirational books, history and literature, hobby specific books and puzzle and activity books, which are some of my favorites as well, and actually sell really well for me during the Q4 period. So they're just a few ideas that you can start creating and now making sure you get your books ranked well, and then watch them really take off during October, November, and December. And finally, as well, just make sure that you are actually spending the most time on the research process. If you get the research part right, then it just makes the rest of the process so much easier. So make sure you are focusing on competition. Consider how many other books are actually going to be competing against your book. Again, you don't want to be competing against 10, 20, 30,000 plus books. You really want to make sure that you are able to stand out from the competition as well. And then consider, are there low BSRs books within the keywords that you're targeting as well? You want to be seeing other competing books that have as well a 10k, 20k low BSR. So that actually tells you that there are other similar books that are selling really well. And then consider, can you compete with the covers as well? Can you create an even better cover? And also take a look through the customer reviews as well, because they will tell you and they'll give you so much information. Because if you even read through the negative reviews as well, then you can actually get ideas about how you can create a much better book. And that's what we want to be doing with every single book that we create. We don't want to be copying somebody else's book, but you got to be asking yourself, how can I create a much better book? How can you actually stand out and potentially create a best-selling book within your niche? And one of the tools that are really going to help you with research is BookBeam. And it actually has a tool called Category History that allows you to go back and look over a 7-day period from any year. So let's go back and have a look over the 15th to the 21st of December, and it's showing us all of the best-selling books over this period. So we get a clear insight into actually what has sold really well last Q4, and all we need to do is come up with our own ideas or create something very similar and unique to challenge these books. So here we can see the actual number one best-selling book for that period was Mom, I Want to Hear Your Story. Then second was Dad, I Want to Hear Your Story. Third, we've got How to Draw Everything. Fourth, we've got Interesting Facts for Curious Minds. Fifth, we've got Learn a Lot While You Sit on the Pot. So these are all very simple ideas. There's nothing too complex about these 5 books that I've actually shown you, but it just shows you the power of low and mid content books, that they still do sell really well. Now, from these ideas, you can go and create something similar. Again, have your own unique spin as well, and it's got the potential to sell as well as a lot of these books during Q4 as well. Now, yes, this is a paid tool, but this is what I talk about investing in your business as well. Tools like this is actually going to take your business to the next level, and I've been using it for quite a long time. So if you are interested in this tool, then I have got it in the description as well. So the next part of building towards Q4 is marketing. Now, most people just upload their book to Amazon and expect it to sell, but it does not work like that. You really need to invest into marketing, especially during the first 30 days of your book's launch, as Amazon does like to give your book an organic push. So you really need to consider how much you have to invest into your book. If you have a budget, then that's great. I would recommend Amazon ads as the best route. However, if you don't have money to invest, there's still ways that you can market your book. And the best way I'd recommend is actually through using TikTok. I do have videos on my channel that actually walk you through my process in how I've built up a 15k TikTok audience for one of my book brands, and it's a really simple strategy to follow. So definitely recommend check out firstly this video where it talks about I tried to sell my KDP book using TikTok in 14 days, and then this is more about my strategy of getting millions of views on your KDP books using TikTok. And the great thing about TikTok's platform is it's free to use. This is just a simple journal that somebody's created a video about, just showing the interior of your book. And this has got hundreds of thousands of views, and it's allowed that book to sell quite well. So, this is something that you can easily do. Just show the cover and the interior of your book on TikTok. Don't expect every video that you create to go viral, but you just have to stay consistent with it over time. Find what works and then just keep on repeating it over time as well. However, with paid ads, you're going to be able to achieve much faster and quicker results. However, you do have to be prepared to spend and possibly sometimes lose money as well. But I would say with that, just make sure that you're putting money towards ads that you're happy with losing. When I started a lot earlier on, the money that I was spending on ads was just a small percentage of my profits, and I kept on reinvesting to the stage I am now. So if you take a look at my earnings, which were the 50K, then roughly 20% of that went towards ads, as my ads were very profitable during those months. But as I said again, just be prepared to lose money. But the main thing is you want to get your books ranking on that first page, as most customers, they don't go really looking beyond the first or second page. So if you can get your ad on those pages, your book will get seen. But don't expect ads to perform magic on your book. You have to make sure that you've done the research first in the first place. You've got an attractive cover as well, and then that's just going to lead customers to click in on your book. And then if you've got an enticing description, A plus content as well, then those things are just going to help the customer towards purchasing your book even more. So if you're able to get your books ranking really well during January to September, then watch your books really explode during October, November, and December. So I hope this video has shifted your perspective and mindset towards really building towards Q4. There is so much huge potential, but you really need to start building now where you are, taking the steps, building on the right foundations, and just making sure that your books are ranking well for Q4, and then you'll be surprised how well you'll do. If you've got any questions, let me know in the comments, and I'll be more than happy to help.